I stepped into this world kind of by accident, and I know that it happens a bunch, but it's most certainly amplified when two teenagers who happen to be my parents were just looking to get through school, looking to figure out who they were, got pregnant. If I wasn't planned or if I was an accident, did my life really have any meaning or any purpose? Well, my parents did their best as teenagers could in terms of trying to figure out how to parent together, how to work out a marriage, but that just didn't last very long. And before I knew it, my parents' marriage ended, their relationship was fractured. My mom found herself a single mom with 3 kids. I found myself in a neighborhood with a number of kids, and we just didn't have a lot of parental supervision and at times a lot of parental support because our parents were just spending a lot of time at work just trying to provide for us. This opened a door for a number of things that just included us getting involved in things and probably growing up too quick. And so I found myself on a street, kind of one of the younger kids in that street, kind of the smaller, the runt, looking to always impress or be accepted by the kids on my street, the age of 10, already dabbling in substances, in some ways criminal activity, theft and vandalism. And in a lot of ways, I was just looking to prove myself or be accepted by this friend group. Now, in many ways, this friend group became my family. I spent more time with them than I did with anyone else. But again, in the back of my mind, even as a kid, I wondered, why am I here? What's the meaning of my life? Well, certainly when you start dabbling into substances, you start to try things, you take things, but then they begin to take your life over. Throughout my middle school and my high school career, I found myself battling addictions and different mechanisms to kind of numb some of the things that were just aching inside in terms of, did my life really matter? Did people really care for me? And so all I saw was brokenness around me. And so that led me to begin to question, is life just random? Is everything kind of by accident? Did I just grow up on the wrong side of the tracks? Therefore, this is what I'm exposed to. This is what I have to deal with. This is kind of my lot in life. And I think my grandma, my mom saw some things in me. I think they were alarmed a bit. So my grandma kind of talked me into going to this camp. They had kind of an event over the weekend, and they were just talking about just life and how there is a hole or kind of an emptiness that human beings have. And they're talking about what it meant to be this person known as a Christian or a Christ follower, someone who was connected to church. And they were talking about these people, and I kind of labeled them as religious people, and I just kind of looked at them and how their lives were structured and their values and their morality, and I kind of looked at my life and I went, man, I don't really have any of those characteristics. And so my initial thought was, well, that could never be me, because I could never be this church or this religious person because I don't act that way. I don't have that level of morality. I don't have that level of, what I would say, almost like this righteousness. I didn't have any of that. I had already done a number of things in the 16 years of my life that I would say kind of stained me, kind of labeled me. And my label most certainly wasn't this Christian, and it scared me. I didn't really understand all of it. I think my initial reaction was, I'll just probably fail at this. Like, I could try to do something. I could try to develop this relationship with Jesus. I could try to follow him and be this Christian. More than likely, I'm gonna fail at it. But I couldn't get that call out of my head, and maybe even more importantly, out of my heart. So this love of Jesus kind of came into my life, and it was less about me trying to work up this self-improvement. It was more about just handing things over to Jesus. It was more about running to him with my failures than trying not to fail. And bringing those failures to him, he began to change me. He began to make me new. He began to renew my mind. He gave me a new heart. He began to change me from the inside out. He made me into a new person. So that meant the things in my past, my addictions or my struggles, that Jesus began to take care of those, that instead of running to those to numb myself from the problems in the world or the adversity that I was facing or the circumstances I found myself in. Now, don't get me wrong, following Jesus, I still had those circumstances around me. Instead of running to things to numb the pain or things to cope with that, instead I would bring them to Jesus. I would bring them to Christ, and he would help me deal with that. He would help me deal with those struggles and that adversity. And then the things that had strongholds in my life, the things that I thought, I don't know if I'm ever going to not have these things in my life while I'm living. Jesus began to take those away, began to set me free. I guess if someone just came up to me and bluntly said, like, where do you find purpose? Or where did you find purpose? I mean, my simple answer would be Jesus. I mean, he came into my life. He set me free. He set me on a new course, gave me meaning and purpose. He gave me a hope and a future. He made himself unmistakably real just by me simply pursuing and seeking and looking for him. And I believe that if you look for him and look for that purpose in him, you'll definitely find it.